Is it possible, since the feminist revolution has brought some good to the world, oh, Dajjal is not a fool. Dajjal is someone created by Allah. Dajjal is someone who is programmed by Allah. It is not Shaitan who has created Dajjal, Allah has created him. And Allah has programmed Dajjal. Can Allah create evil? قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ مِنْ شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ. Say, I seek refuge with the Rabb of the Falaq, the dawn, from the shar which He has created, the evil which He has created. He never created human beings as evil. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. Human beings have been created in the best form. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. And we have honored the progeny of Adam. Human beings are not created evil. Iblis was not created evil, no. Iblis chose to disobey. So where is the evil that Allah created? Where? The evil that Allah created cannot be other than Dajjal and Gog and Magog. Yes, the feminist revolution does have in it that which we can identify as beneficial, as good. Tomorrow when we look at politics, we'll see that in the modern state, the modern secular state, there are aspects of the modern secular state that are commendable. And it is improper scholarship for you to simply condemn wholesale. Rather, you should discriminate between that which is beneficial and that which is harmful. But the beneficial part, the 90% that is good, is there so that the 10% that is poison can slip in. So don't pay attention to the 90% that is good and in the process ignore the 10% that is poison, because that is there to allow this to penetrate you. Can Dajjal enter the Muslim village? When Tamim ad-Dari met Dajjal on that island, which we said was Britain, and he had questioned Tamim ad-Dari, among other things, about is there any water left in the Sea of Galilee. He then declared, I am Dajjal. And he warned that I will enter every town and every city. But he never mentioned villages. And as a consequence of that statement of his, we can now understand why, for the first time in human history, for the first time, we have the phenomenon of the emergence of mega cities, 20 million people in a city, 10 million people in a city, 50 million people living in what can best be described as the equivalent of a fowl coop, the place where you keep fowl, in Hong Kong. See how they live in Hong Kong. In Singapore, one generation and a second and a third generation, and from generation to generation, all that you know is living in a flat. That's all. You never have the earth underneath your feet. You can never play amongst the flowers. You come outside of your front door. You're living always in an apartment. Mega cities. Because Dajjal will find it easier to control mankind, easier to corrupt and destroy people when he has them in these large conglomerates, the cities. But if you move out of the cities to small villages, Dajjal is going to have a bottle of Tylenol tablets, headache tablets to take. He's going to have monstrous headaches. How can I deal with them when they are fanning out into small, remote villages where it is now far more difficult for me to attack them without revealing myself and exposing myself. So the Muslim village will be safer. وَإِذِ اعْتَزَلْتُمُوهُمْ وَمَا عَبُدُونَ إِلَّا اللَّهَ فَأْوُوا إِلَى الْكَهْفِ. If you fan out into the remote countryside and you do it for the sake of preserving your faith, يَنْشُرْ لَكُمْ رَبُّكُمْ مِنْ رَحْمَتِهِ. Allah will shower you with His mercy. 2 more and we'll be finished. The hadith on Sham and Yemen. Allahumma barik lana fi Shamina wa Yemena. We leave this question for tomorrow. What's going to happen with Iran? There is no more. Announcement. There is an essay in this book, Will Israel Attack Iran? It was written 4 years ago, 2005. Will Israel attack Iran? The analysis is still valid. If the Anglo-American-Israeli alliance can make a deal with Iran over Russia's head, to bypass Russia and make a deal with Iran, then we'll offer you Shia control over the Sunni world. And Iran accepts that deal and dismantles whatever Israel considers to be a threat. Then there will be no attack on Iran. But the direction in which we are moving is one in which Iran is increasingly demonstrating a preference for an alliance with Russia, an alliance with Rome, that's what is in the hadith, over a deal with the Western world. So long as Iran remains in that state of preferring an alliance with Russia, it is inevitable that they'll eventually attack Iran. This is the end of this session, and tomorrow we come back for the last day of the retreat. At 5 o'clock, here we are. Buses will be here at 4:30 sharp, and we'll be leaving at 5 o'clock sharp to Islamic Missionaries Guild, one of the organizing bodies, in a place called Kelly. Those of you who are interested in doing some shopping, you get on one bus, while the others who want to have dinner will go on the other bus to Kelly. So the first bus you have to do without dinner. No, I'm only kidding. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Someone left a wristwatch here?